To those of you who are still playing Valheim but looking for something a little different because maybe the game is losing its shine just a little bit, well, in today's video I think I got you covered, but we also have some other amazing news, including more leaks for update 1.6 for Genshin Impact, and even more leaks for Dragon's Dogma 2, a new but not really new Chinese MMORPG headed for the Western Shores, Elyon a set Infinite Realm going with the buy-to-play business model, and unfortunately Population Zero quietly closed its doors. Hello everyone, my name is Solomon SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news trends and updates for the RPG gaming genre, including MMOs, survival, co-op, JRPGs, and the like. If you guys got your cup ready with your beverage of choice, I'm drinking coffee as always. Let's go ahead and cover these articles together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and kick things off in today's video with MMOculture.com, and in their first article here it says that Swords of Legends Online, Gameforge announces new MMORPG based on popular Asian fantasy martial arts IP. And when I read that, I know a lot of you are thinking, oh great, Gameforge, another MMORPG from them, just what we needed. But to be fair, we really don't have a whole lot of Kung Fu MMORPGs out there, with the exception of maybe Blade and Soul, and that's the only one I know of at the moment. Now, this MMORPG has been out in China for about a handful of years already, and it's based on the Wuxia IP, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But it has been confirmed that this MMORPG will go with a buy-to-play business model with a in-game cash shop. Matter of fact, if you scroll down, there are 3 tiers that you could actually buy this game. First one being the standard edition at $40, the deluxe edition at $60, and you get the top tier collector's edition for $100. And so obviously the more money that you pay, the more goodies that you get with cosmetics and boosts and whatnot. And yeah, I'm kind of interested in this game, to be honest with you, because like I said before, we actually don't have a whole lot of Kung Fu MMORPGs out there. And as always, I do have the trailer playing right now, and I must admit I really do like the way it's very flashy. The contrast of the colors look pretty amazing. Graphically, the game actually looks pretty decent, but in terms of the character movements and the way they just kind of interact with the world and walk and all that kind of stuff, it does look a little bit clunky in my opinion. Now, maybe my standards are a little bit too high because I do play Black Desert Online, and arguably probably has the best animations and aesthetics in any MMORPG right now, in my opinion. But will I give this game a try? Yeah, of course, because it is an MMO. And as an MMO fan, we really don't have a whole lot of options out there, in my opinion. But yeah, it could be a good game though. Next, we'll head on over to MMORPG.com for a few articles. And continuing on with our MMO discussion here, Elyon reiterates a buy-to-play business model, talks old airship elements, and showcases character in upcoming MMO. If you guys have been watching this channel for a while, you guys know that I'm a little bit disappointed that they kind of went away from that steampunk aesthetics of the game. It kind of looks more or less another Terra online game right now, unfortunately. But will I give this MMO a try? Absolutely. I'm still looking forward to it. There's still a lot of good things going on for this game. Now, there is a Elyon Discord right now that's ran by a bunch of fans right now. I don't think it's anything official, and they actually do have community manager Yoimiya from Kakao Games being there, being able to answer some of the questions that a lot of the fans have for this game. And again, just like the previous MMO that we were talking about, this game will also be a buy-to-play MMORPG with in-game cash ops and purchases. Now, in the original iteration of this game, Elyon actually did have aerial combat, but they seem to have scrapped it more or less because not a whole lot of people found it really interesting and engaging, unfortunately. Now, as for putting that portion of the game back into Elyon, it's a maybe. They say that they're discussing it, but not really in depth, and even though they haven't ruled it out, it's not really in the plans in the future as of yet. And lastly, it does go on to say that the team also talked Elyon's content release schedule, stating that they are hoping to bring 1 or 2 classes each year in the MMO, as well as discussing a raid being worked on that could involve 20 players, as well as being open to the idea of guild content in the future as well. And to all the EVE Online fans out there, you got some new content. As it says here, EVE Online receives new and updated landmarks, and what do you get in this update? Well, additional landmarks, as it says, but it also updates and refreshes some of the current existing ones as well. Some new locations include Court of the Elements, Pool of Radiance, and Trace Cosmos. And in the next article, it says that Dual Universe PTS now includes update 0.25 content. And really quick, in this new update, it does say that it includes new voxel storage tech. Essentially, the team made some changes to how voxels will be stored on the server side of things, and so it makes the game load a lot easier and faster. And as I said earlier, the other Kung Fu MMORPG out in the market right now, in their next next article, it says that Blade and Soul outlines new Mischief markers events. And as with most MMORPGs, if not all, these events just include a lot of dailies for you to get better gear and other rewards. First, starting off with the Candy Cloud Carnival that, I mean, sounds very sugary, but that's kind of the point. Now, not really RPG news per se, but I still found this a little interesting because this is Gamigo that we are talking about, and it does go on to say that MMO publisher Gamigo is bringing tower defense online game Skydome to Europe and North America, and it looks like they're trying to compete with League of Legends, maybe? I don't know. But it does go on to say that the game is described as blending tower defense and MOBA elements to create a uniquely cooperative and competitive game. And yes, as always, you do have your own champions to choose from to play with this with other people and whatnot, and so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to turn out, to be honest with you. Gamigo does actually have a bit of a reputation, let's just say, where I'm not going to check the comment section because I know it's going to be full of salt. But in any event, if you are excited about this game, let me know down in the comment section below what you look forward to the most. And yeah, if it's really good, then I might have to check it out myself, but I'm not really much of a MOBA player myself. But hey, anything's possible, I suppose. And as I promised from the beginning of this video, if you're somebody who plays Valheim but looking for something a little different, well, in this article it says that multiplayer sandbox game Myth of Empires is holding a global alpha test on April 15th. And it does go on to say that Myth of Empires is an in-developed multiplayer sandbox game very similar to Valheim and is planning an alpha test on April 15th through April 23rd. And this is a closed alpha, but I do believe you can still sign up for it if you'd wish. Now, if you head on over to their Steam page, they actually do have a lot of similar tags to Valheim as well, because you got sandbox, survival, open world, base building, open world survival, crafting, action adventure. They even have MMORPG as a tag, which I find very interesting, but RPG, hack and slash, and all that kind of stuff. And lastly, the author of this article does seem to indicate that this game also has elements of both Arc and Mount and Blade as well. And so if you're familiar with those games and blend all that together in a survival RPG like Valheim, then you got something that has potentially a lot of fun things to do, because one of the biggest criticisms that I had about Valheim is that it was just way too simple. There just wasn't a whole lot of complexity to it, but that's actually a benefit to a lot of other gamers out there. They actually like the game because it's simple, and that's fair enough. But all in all, it does seem like Valheim kicked off sort of a survival RPG, co-op RPG craze right now, and a lot of companies seem to be making some variation of that. Although, I mean, it's been around for a while, ever since like DayZ or Rust and stuff like that. And as always, sorry to sound like a broken record player, I do have the trailer playing right now, and it looks like a game that I could definitely get into, just because you also have other elements of civilizations in there and just a lot more complexity to the buildings that you can make, it looks like, and whatnot. And so yeah, this game I think actually has a potential to be the next maybe Valheim. I don't know. I'm not willing to put money on that, but I still think it has a lot of potential. Links to this will be down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a closer look, and definitely check out the Steam page as well, which will also be in the pinned comment section below. Next, let's head on over to GameSpew.com for one article, and it says here that Zombie MMO The Day Before gets a 13-minute gameplay trailer, and oh my goodness, does this trailer look pretty amazing. I'll play as much of it as I can right now, as always, but just the way the game looks graphically, it just absolutely looks beautiful. And the way that the car drives on top of the mud, and the way it sinks, and the reflection on the waters, on the river, and the way it ripples and whatnot. I mean, you could say a lot of things about this game, but one thing I think a lot of us would agree on is that the graphics on this game looks truly amazing. Now, the players actually go inside this really creepy looking house with a bunch of mannequins, and I'm already freaked out because I hate mannequins. And you got zombies that they gotta fend off against, and at the end you got this police car coming in, and you're thinking to yourself, like, what kind of establishment has police with police cars and sirens? Or maybe it's a bunch of people that stole a police car, but why would they have the sirens on? It would just attract more zombies, right? But then maybe that's the point, and it just kind of leaves you with more questions than anything else. And so to me, that's a good thing. It just makes me wonder more about the game, why they did what they did, and makes me want to play the game even more. And as always, I'll have a link to this down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a look at all 13 minutes. But definitely check it out after you watch the entirety of this video. I would definitely appreciate it because I could definitely use the watch time. But anyways, and next let's switch gears one more time and head on over to massivelyop.com for a few articles. And the first one here says that Outriders offers players a care package to compensate for server outages and bugs. And as of right now, there's another bug where apparently items in your inventory are disappearing as well, and big yikes to that, considering that's one of the main focuses of a looter shooter, is to manage and keep some of the stuff that you actually get in your inventory. But anyways, and this care package will be offered to players who played between March 31st and April 11th, and it does go on to say that it's confirmed that players will get a level appropriate quality of titanium and a level appropriate legendary weapon, along with a special emote called Frustration. And apparently this is the only way you could get it because there's no other way right now, so I think that's pretty cool too. And in terms of games that I'm looking forward to the most, this one ranks really high, and we're talking about Corepunk, obviously. And in their next article, it says that Corepunk Q&A discusses launch window, guilds, mounts, and more. Now, there is a link to the Corepunk's community Q&A session, but I'm gonna go ahead and just cover what's already in everybody's mind, and that's the launch windows and whatnot. And it does go on to say that the biggest question clearly is the issue of the closed beta and launch. Artificial Core said that it's planning to let in around 10,000 players for the first closed beta and is still on track for a full launch by the end of 2021. And lastly, from massivelyop.com, in their next article, unfortunately, it says that Population Zero, yeah, they shut down their servers quietly without anyone knowing, apparently. The game's website has already been taken offline. There really wasn't a whole lot of interaction, much less any activity on their official accounts from Twitter and whatnot. And so, yeah, I don't know what to say. I know there weren't a whole lot of people who played the game because, according to this article, it had a daily peak of over 10 players since last September, which isn't that great. So, cheers to you, Population Zero. I guess it was a good run, but sorry to see you go, I suppose. And next we head on over to GameSpeed.com for one article here, and it says that monster taming MMO TemTem gets a new island today. Now, I know a lot of you actually really looked forward to this game, especially when it was first announced as an early access game, because a lot of us really wanted a Pokemon MMORPG, and this game kind of helped fix that need, if you will. And next, let's head on over to altchart.com for a few articles, and I do have to apologize that the title will be cut off on the right there as always, so I do apologize again, but it does go on to say here in their first article that Genshin Impact leak confirms Kazuha and Yoimiya for update 1.6, possibly, with an exclamation mark. Now, apparently there's a credible leaker by the name of ArkyWZX or something like that, who revealed the long-awaited Inazuma region could be arriving along with 2 new characters in update 1.6. And if you scroll down in this article, they actually do have a screenshot here of a little Twitter interaction confirming or potentially confirming some of the leaks that are going to be in update 1.6. I can't speak or read Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever language this is, so you're just gonna have to kind of take their word for it, I suppose. But again, the link to this article will be down in the pinned comment section below if you want to take a closer look. We actually do have a screenshot of one of those characters. I don't know which character this is. And in their next article, it says that GTA 6 is set in modern day, says, again, another reliable leaker apparently. But I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this one because I actually did cover a potential leak for GTA 6 in another video about a month ago, saying that the game might actually take place during the 80s, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And another leaker says it's actually set on modern times, and the reason why it's set on modern times is because Rockstar could actually make more money in its online mode, because if it's set on modern times, they could actually put more crazier things inside the game and sell those to all its players, blah blah blah. So yeah, that's all I'll say. There seems to be 2 conflicting reports, but given the reasoning behind the monetization and what Rockstar wants to do, it does make sense. And so I'm more inclined to believe that GTA 6 will be set on modern times, more so than being in the 80s. But let me know down in the comment section below what you believe and why. And in more leaked news, I swear I'm gonna call Altchar a leak char because It seems like all the articles that I covered that has to do with leaks all seems to come from Altchart like 90% of the time. But anyways, they're still fun, more or less a little bit. But it does go on to say in their next article that Dragon's Dogma 2 leaks reveals gameplay and release date info. And it does go on to say that Dragon's Dogma sequel is reportedly shaping up to be a stunning game when it comes to the visuals. According to the leak, it is internally delayed to late 2022, early 2023. And part of that leak apparently has to do with the fact that the team had to sort of do a little bit of tweaking to the Resident Evil engine that they are using for this game. But either way, I'm really looking forward to this one. I played the first one all those years ago, and I remember having lots of good memories with that. It played more or less very similarly to the original Dragon Age game, where you create a character and you had two other companions fight alongside you. And so yeah, I was really into those games. I'm not exactly sure if part 2 will play like that at all, but in any event, I'm very I guess you could say feeling very nostalgic about this. And we'll head on over to PCGamer.com for a few articles. And really quick, this isn't really RPG news, but I thought I'd cover it anyways because BioShock is one of those games that I just absolutely love. And it says here that BioShock 4 job listings appear to confirm that it will be an open world game with a main quest and side quests as well. And I know a lot of you guys actually love this series, not because it just has really good storytelling, because it does, but because it has that retro futurism that other games also have aesthetically, including Fallout and the Outer World, which yeah, don't have a whole lot of games like that, and so I'm really looking forward to this one. And lastly, from PCGamer.com, it says here in their last article for the day, it says that Fallout 76 data miners find signs suggesting a return to Washington, D.C. Now, in Fallout 76, they do have these, or hinted at these things called expeditions, which are DLC-like features. And if you actually scroll down, you could actually look at some of the screenshots and the way it looks right now, and that does look like it's Washington, D.C., although it doesn't look complete, but you still get an idea of, you know, what to expect, what it may look like more or less. But again, take this with a grain of salt because we actually don't know if this is officially true or not. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If so, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it. That would significantly help out the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comment section below as well. Your feedback is always appreciated. But anyways, everyone, I know that was a lot of articles, so I'll finally let you guys go. Hope you guys have a blessed night, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers again, everyone.